A few years ago, I made a video about how much I spent in a week in San Francisco as a 28-year-old. Now I'm slowly approaching 30 and living in Portland, Oregon, and I wanted to make a video and to see if I would be spending more or less in Portland because Portland is a cheaper city to live in. Hey y'all, it's Ilana and welcome back to my channel. So as you may know, I'm interested in seeing how much money I spend a week as a almost 30-year-old living in Portland, Oregon. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I post content about what it's like to navigate life and dating in Portland. So if you're thinking about moving to Portland or you're just single navigating the dating world, go ahead and subscribe down below because I think you'll really like it here. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my expenses for the week. So when I made this video a few years ago, I mentioned in my video that I spent a total of $313, but I had used a gift card for some of that stuff. So really, $252.19 actually came out of my bank account. So I'm really curious to see if I will be spending more or less in this video. I did start this video on a Saturday, so it'll be from Saturday to Saturday where I can test to see how much I am spending genuinely a week in Portland. So on the third Saturday of every month, my apartment complex likes to do this lobby farmers market where they'll have business owners come and sell stuff. So from one business, I bought 2 wonderful smelling candles from this Black-owned candle business called Scents by Miles. I will have their business linked down below if you are interested in checking them out. Please support small businesses as always. And then I decided to buy a plant, which you may have seen me put in my living room video. I don't remember what kind of plant this was, but it was pretty expensive. It was $38 and I got that from another business, and unfortunately I don't remember the name of it. But I did spend a total of $68 at this farmer's market sale, which is a lot of money. The 2 candles costed $30 in case you were wondering. And after that, I had to go to CVS. So there's a CVS right below my apartment complex. It's pretty dangerous. I swear I am there like almost every other day. There was a lot of stuff that I needed to get from CVS. So I spent a ton of money at CVS. I ended up spending $79.67 at CVS. Normally, I don't spend that much money when I go to CVS. Like I mentioned, there was a lot of things that I needed to get. I spent quite a bit of money on the first day. I ended up spending $147.67 that day. The first day, that's already a ton of money. But I really wanted to buy some stuff that day, so let's see what I spent on a Sunday. On Sunday, I wasn't any better. I spent even more money, which is ridiculous. So the first thing that I started my day off with was ordering an Instacart. Instacart can get really expensive. I already had a Hungry Root box coming my way, but there were a few things that I needed to get that I couldn't get in my Hungry Root box, and I ended up spending $87.39 on one Instacart, which is a lot of money. And then once my Instacart came, I really wanted to get out of my apartment and go exploring. So I decided to venture up to the Northwest District or the Alphabet District, and I heard it has some of the best fall foliage in Portland, and it did not disappoint. So while I was walking around, I did get some coffee at Sterling Coffee, and I also got a pastry, so that costed a total of $10.10. And then after I got coffee and a pastry, I walked to one of my favorite metaphysical shops in Portland called New Renaissance Bookshop. It's a huge metaphysical bookshop. They have crystals, lots of books, they have tarot, oracle cards, sage, anything that's witchy that you may want, they have it. It's a great store. And I bought quite a bit of things when I was there. I need to be stopped. I ended up spending $84.97 at New Renaissance. I bought sage, I bought 2 books, I bought a candle because it was for Scorpio season, and I think that was it, but everything was really expensive in there. I didn't buy any crystals, but still a lot of money for one store. So for that day, I ended up spending $182.46. So much money. But let's see how much more money I spend throughout the week. So I have some good news. On Monday and Tuesday, I was really good, and there wasn't anything that I needed to spend money on. I didn't order food. I didn't have to get groceries. I didn't need to go to CVS. Next 2 days were really good with not spending any money. And then we go to Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I had to make 2 different purchases. The first thing that I had to purchase was a subscription service to my company's mental health services. I used to have Teladoc, and ever since my sister's boyfriend left that company, I lost the free benefits of that. So I needed to find another way to get my medications. So I signed up with my company's benefits. And while my company is still really small, I don't get the benefit of having it free, but I did get it on a discount. So I spent $76.50 just so I could renew my prescriptions for my mental health. And after that, I went back to CVS. What a surprise, I'm always at CVS. I didn't really need to buy a lot of stuff at CVS, and I only spent $9.79 when I was there. So it was a quick in and out trip, and that was really all I spent for that day. And that gives me a total of $86.29 for Wednesday. Thursday was a good day. I didn't spend any money, so that's a good sign, but I did spend some money on Friday. So on Fridays, I do like to treat myself to a lunch instead of making it. So normally I like to go to the food trucks that's a block away from my apartment, but it was raining outside and I didn't want to deal with that and wait in the rain and get soaked. So I decided to order something from Uber Eats. I ordered from Next Level. It's a great vegan place in Portland. I love it. So my whole Uber Eats order was $28.08. And that was all I spent for Friday. And this brings us to the last day of the week. We're back to Saturday. So the only thing that I spent money on Saturday was ordering food again from Uber Eats. So this order was $27.11. I ordered tomato soup and a pesto grilled cheese sandwich, and it was delicious. Obviously the delivery fees and the tip makes the order much more expensive, but that was the only thing that I spent on Saturday. Let's get to the grand total because it's not pretty. I think it's quite obvious that I spent more money in Portland than I did in San Francisco. My grand total of weekly expenses in Portland, Oregon was $471.61. But I want to be real with y'all. Even though that was a lot of money, this is actually what I typically do spend in a week in Portland. This was actually very accurate because normally on the weekends, I do like to go out and about. I do like to explore boutique stores and small businesses, and I do like to buy from them. And typically small businesses are going to sell things that are going to be a little bit more expensive because again, they're a small business. Also, when I'm out and about, I only buy coffee once a week if I'm out and about to get some more energy because my energy does drain very quickly when I'm out and about during the day. I also order Instacart about once a week, and typically my Instacart orders do range from like $70 to $100. It depends on what I need to buy. I typically only order from Uber Eats about once or twice a week, so that was a very accurate reflection of my spending during the weekend. And then the whole CVS ordeal, I'm literally going to CVS maybe 2 to 3 times a week. So the fact that I spent that much money at CVS doesn't really surprise me because all of that stuff adds up. I think the only thing that I wouldn't spend my money on in a week is that one payment of my company's mental health subscription services. But other than that, this is typically what I spend when I am enjoying myself in Portland every single week. I definitely don't think my weekly range is usually almost close to $500, but I would say $300 to $400 is probably a better bet on what I typically spend. I just went a little bit crazy at the bookstore and at the mini farmers market that my apartment complex had. So that explains a little bit why the price was high, but honestly, it was still a very accurate depiction of my spending in Portland. Whereas when I did my video of how much I spent in San Francisco, I spent way less, but that wasn't typically how I normally spend my money within a week in San Francisco. So I really do like how more authentic this video was compared to the other one, even though it was more expensive. So what was your guess? Did you think that I was gonna spend more money living in Portland, or did you think that I was gonna spend less money? Comment down below and let me know if you were really surprised with how much I spent. I also love to know how much you typically spend within a week in your city. And as always, if you liked this video and you found that it was really insightful, do be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!